This is Leo Terrell, and normally I would say this is day 9 of the Kelly Thomas case, but no longer. This is People versus Ramos, the killing death of Kelly Thomas. Kelly Thomas is not on trial. Ramos and Cicinelli is on trial. So from this day forward, you'll hear me start off by saying this is day 9 of People versus Ramos, the beating death of Kelly Thomas. And today, the defense used phase 2 of their strategy, and that is to bring on medical testimony to prove that Kelly Thomas did not die due to the injuries of these officers. Kelly Thomas died for other reasons. The expert for the defense testified today that 1, Kelly Thomas did not die due to lack of oxygen. 2, Kelly Thomas did not die due to trauma to his face. 3, Kelly Thomas did not die to the massive loss of blood. The defense brought on credible medical experts to tell this jury that the injuries that Kelly Thomas suffered did not cause his death. It was something else. And that's all the defense has to do, to create a tribal issue of facts, to convince this jury that there was another reason why Kelly Thomas died. And their expert today was good. He was solid. He was very well spoken, and the jury was listening. The cross-examination by the prosecution was horrible, weak. You know what? I'm sitting there almost holding myself because I want to take over the case for the prosecution. The best way to describe the prosecution, and I don't do impersonations, is Columbo. He was stumbling. He was fumbling. The prosecution lost the interest of the jury. This case needs to be tried on the merits. And in order for that to happen, the prosecution has to have competent representation in order to cross-examine these witnesses. In my opinion, the defense won today. I know the prosecution haven't asked me for my assistance or opinions, but if the prosecution is watching clearthecourt.com, please, here's some advice on how to frame a question. When you are cross-examining a witness, make them give yes and no answer. Give them leading questions. Don't give open-ended questions. The prosecution is not challenging the veracity or the truthfulness of the defense experts, and that's primarily due to the fact that the prosecution cannot frame questions. I've been hammering this over and over again. They're losing the interest of the jury. The jury seem disinterested, like they're bored, they want to take a break, and that's all due to the fact that the prosecution is not being effective when it's up there asking questions. When the defense asks questions, they're sharp, they're quick, one after another, fast paced. Your interest is there. You want to hear the answer. Not from the prosecution. Prosecution, you need to get your act together because time is running out. You might lose this case due to your inability to frame questions. I expect the defense to use phase 3 in bringing up police experts to testify and tell the jury that Officer Ramos and Cicinelli did the right thing. They're going to bring in local law enforcement agencies. They're going to bring in local law enforcement officers to tell the jury that these officers were correct in using force when threatened by a person with a propensity to engage in violence. Now that's expected from the defense. But again, I hope the prosecution attacks the credibility of these individuals, because to see if they have ever testified against police officers, it's very important to challenge their credibility. Have these experts always testified on behalf of officers? Have they ever criticized police officers? It's very important that the prosecution attacks these witnesses in that manner to convince the jury that they have a bias. And I want them to do this, being the prosecution, because Ron Thomas and the Kelly Thomas family wants justice. I saw Ron Thomas today and I said, "Hey Ron, how you doing?" And he said, "Worn out, worn out." Ron Thomas is a tower of strength, and he needs to be assisted and supported by the prosecution who is prosecuting these officers. This is Leo Terrell for clearthecourt.com.